Welcome to the Hope Browser Overview. Today we're going to review the process of completing Hope records. Hope is a CMS regulatory update set to go live October 1st, 2025. Hope will replace the existing hospice item set. Let's walk through how the hospice process works in Suncoast from start to finish. First, let's navigate to the Hope browser from the desktop under the function Clinical Tools and the task Hope Browser. The Hope Browser is a critical workspace designed to support efficiency and compliance with Hope deadlines and provides the user with a comprehensive snapshot of each Hope record. When we initially open the Hope Browser, it will automatically default to show records that have not yet been exported and are in active state and require attention to maintain regulatory compliance. All Hope records are generated by the Hope agent. The admission and hospice update visit 1 and 2 are generated on admission, and the discharge record generates on the discharge of the patient. If the patient is discharged prior to the start of the hospice update visit 1 or 2, the agent will automatically remove those records. The screen is organized into several key columns designed to help you quickly assess the status of a record and determine if any action is needed. The very first column is the approved column. This column indicates when a record is approved for export, meaning it has been fully completed, validated, and e-signed. It's important to understand the Hope record submission is part of the Hospice Quality Reporting Program, HQRP, a pay-for-reporting program. And while the program is not pay-for-performance, it does require that records be completed and submitted timely, and failure to do so could result in a 4% reduction of Medicare reimbursement. The notification column plays a crucial role in maintaining Hope record completion and submission compliance, as it alerts the reviewer when the record is approaching its completion deadline, which is 14 days for admission and hospice update visits and 7 days for a discharge. It also provides the reviewer a warning when the Hope record is approaching the 30-day submission deadline required for all Hope records. These alerts allow the users to be proactive in ensuring records are completed and submitted timely. The user can quickly see the reason for record and the status of the Hope form itself and where it lies within the Hope submission process: not entered, WIP, or e-signed. Now let's navigate to a single patient. The start date and due by columns display the start and end points of the Hope time period for the record displayed in the reason for record. At the bottom of the Hope browser, there is a section called Additional Details. Under the Related Forms tab, the reviewer will find a list of all forms associated with the Hope time point, along with their status and navigational tools that open that assessment. By displaying the start and due by date at each Hope time period, the reviewer can confirm that each assessment falls within the correct CMS-defined window and provides visibility into any potential risks of late completion, which could impact completion or submission compliance and quality scores. In the form status column, the system will automatically indicate if all necessary assessments have been completed during the time period, and if a symptom follow-up visit is required, and if so, when it is due. This enables the reviewer to quickly confirm whether all required assessment components have been completed prior to the Hope record review and finalization. If the patient is discharged during one of the hospice update visit time points and the assessments have not yet been completed, there is a new option under the change status that will allow the user to mark the record as discharged prior to HUV. In this scenario, if the reviewer has not yet changed the status within 7 days after discharge, the system will automatically remove the record for them via the Hope agent. There are additional tools that prompt a user to take pause before opening a Hope form without any associated or incomplete assessments within the time period. For example, If all clinical assessments have not yet been completed, the reviewer may want to take pause until the appropriate data can be pulled to the form. Or if there is no related clinical assessments at all, the reviewer will be prompted also to take that same pause. There are also prompts to guide the user to start the HOPE forms in order. If a previous HOPE form has a status of not entered, and the reviewer will see a hard stop from starting the subsequent record. Once all assessments have been completed, the reviewer can finalize the HOPE form for submission. The form will now open within the client record. Under each section, answers from the first time asked and answered within the clinical assessments will pull to the form. However, the reviewer has the opportunity to see all historical answers coming in for subsequent visits and make the desired changes as necessary. This review step is essential because the data reported within the HOPE form feeds the XML that is then submitted to and evaluated by CMS for the Hospice Quality Reporting Program. In the final section of the form, the reviewer will then certify the HOPE information is correct. This will satisfy the Z0400 requirement and will also provide the Z0500 signature. Once the form has been reviewed and all answers are complete, when the reviewer signs the form, this will trigger the system's built-in data scrubber, which is another powerful tool to further support record compliance and accuracy. The system will run a real-time validation against the HOPE record, scanning for any errors, warnings, or inconsistencies. If any issues are found, they are displayed in the validation result section, giving the user quick visibility into what needs to be addressed before final approval. After all validations have been reviewed and errors have been cleared, the reviewer will then sign the record, which establishes the official Z0500B date within the XML. This date is captured in real time and must be within the 14 days for admission and HUV and 7 days for discharge to maintain compliance. Once the record is e-signed or approved, the record is ready for export, and the user can now generate the XML file required for a submission to iKeys. The status of the record will change to exported automatically with this action. Once the XML file has been submitted to iKeys, the user will change the record status of the record to transmitted through the transmit option. This will automatically mark the record as transmitted. In the transmit result window, the user can see a full list of records and define if they were accepted or rejected or in need of correction based off the iKeys validation report. The user will change the status of the record based on those results. If the record has been changed to accepted and the agency has identified non-key demographic errors in the original submission, the user will then have the ability to create a modification request record to be submitted with those corrections. If key demographic errors are identified, an inactivation request will be required. If the record was rejected, the user will have the ability to correct the record, sending it back to a work in progress status where they can review the errors, make necessary corrections, and then resubmit the record following the standard approval and export workflow. This ensures records are tracked, corrected, and resolved in a timely and compliant manner, helping your agency stay within the completion and submission requirements. Thank you for joining today's webinar on the HOPE browser. We hope you leave today with a clear understanding of the workflow, tools, and best practices that will help your agency maintain regulatory compliance. Suncoast is prepared and excited to support you through the HOPE transition. Thank you for watching this demonstration.